ASA history is none other than Will Kimmel. Kimmel is the nephew of a frequent person on our program, 8-time ARCA REMAX Series champ Frank Kimmel, and the son, well, I hate to introduce him that way, of Bill Kimmel, but we'll talk to him more about that a little bit later on. But we're going to be talking to Will Kimmel, the 2007 Super Late Model champ at Salem Speedway, and a 13-time track champion and 3-time MMRA national champion. Will Kimmel, welcome to the program, bud.
Thanks for having me, guys. I look forward to being on here more.
You know, Will, I hate to start off on a bad note, but I've been around your dad and your uncle quite a bit over the last 10 years or so, and to say that they don't exactly have the best reputation in motorsports would be like an understatement. Is that a difficult barrier for you to overcome?
No, actually, I like people referring me to Frank because, you know, it's a good thing. He's got such a good reputation as a nice guy and everything. But then when they say, "Oh, you're Bill's son," then that's when things get a little different.
That's where I was going to on that. I mean, you know, I can see you're Frank, so you're related to Frank. That means you're Bill's son. That's not really a good thing. I mean, I do attribute one of the greatest all-time sports quote to your dad. It happened in Nashville. Your Uncle Frank had turned around Chad Blunt going into turn 1 way late in a race in Nashville. And it set off a pretty good pit fight down there on pit road because the two of them were parked right next to each other. And stuff was going everywhere, and I'm cleaning this up for radio use, of course. And your dad finally looked at the Blunt guys and goes, "Look, I didn't do it."
I don't know if the Blunt guy understood at that point or not because he was a bit of a daze.
No, he didn't understand. There was a couple of them, you know, that kind of beat up around the head and all. And it didn't turn out good. It was not a good deal for everybody on that deal. But that's one of my all-time great sports quotes. All this fight was going on, and there's your dad standing on top of the pit box going, "I didn't do it. I don't know what y'all want to fight about." That's not exactly how he said it either, but I'm sure you get the general impression. But you've had quite a storied career for a guy that hadn't even hardly made 21 years old yet. 13 track championships, 3 national titles in the MMRA series, 90 career wins, coming off a 2007 Super Late Model Championship up at Salem Speedway. And now you come into Mobile, Alabama to test out this new ASA series. What do you think is going to happen this weekend?
I don't know, but, you know, the only 2 tracks I ran on late model cars have been Nashville and Salem, and people know who've been there. Nashville's not real smooth, and Salem certainly isn't. So I'm just really looking forward to going to a half-mile newly paved, smooth racetrack to race at. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, this place is everything when it comes to smooth, especially at the 2 racetracks that you're talking about. Tire wear is not an issue. You bail it off down in the corner and just hang on and get all you can get coming out. So you guys ought to have a good time. Plus the weather, I think Saturday they're talking about 75 degrees.
Yeah, you know, I can't wait to get down there. I enjoy driving the car like that, and sometimes I get to do that at Salem, you know, but it's kind of like a dirt track. It changes with the weather. And speaking of that, we've had three days of straight rain here, and things are flooding and all that. So I'm really looking forward to coming down there. It'll be the beginning of my spring break for college. It'll be a good time.
Well, that's a pretty good deal. You come down for spring break. Are you going to stay at the beach while everybody else goes home?
No, I doubt it. I'll probably have to come back home, and if the car's still rolling, hopefully I'll talk Dad into going to Nashville.
Well, you know, your best bet would be to bring like 2 vehicles so your dad can go home, and then you can stay down with some of the crew guys. Y'all have a good time next week.
Yeah.
You could go ahead and get the whole local flavor of what's going on here on the Gulf Coast.
I'd stick out pretty bad because I don't know how the action is down there.
You know, Will, of all the places y'all could go racing this weekend, the ASA, Southeast Asphalt Tour, is making its debut down here. What kind of went into y'all's decision-making process to come to Mobile to race here this weekend with the ASA guys versus some of the other things that are out there?
Well, of course, we could have went to Nashville. I think Nashville was a couple of weeks after Mobile. And that, originally, that's where we were going, but then Dad looked, and he was like, why don't we just go somewhere different? And that just gives you a little bit more experience in a late model heat, because Salem only runs 8 races a year, so really I've only ran about 16 races in a late model, and 2 of those races have been in Nashville. So for me to go to a different track is really a big deal. So that's really what we were looking at. Plus, we can still use our motor. We just got to change carburetors. So I think that went a lot into it, but also the fact that I'm going to get a little bit more a different track experience.
This is an interesting race this weekend for our listeners who are pretty much familiar with what we did last weekend, which was a pro late model race, or what's known around the country as a crate motor late model race. This weekend's race will, the way the rules are written for this series, you can use your crate motor that you used last week, or for what fans here on the Gulf Coast would know as a super late model motor with a 2-barrel carburetor, which ought to make for an interesting mix when you throw all these cars together.
Yeah, me and Dad have been talking about that a lot, really, because the ASA cars, I call them ASA cars, the crate motor cars or the pro late motor cars, they're going to be a bit lighter than us. Of course they're going to be down on motor, and I think we're 100 pounds heavier. So if tire wear doesn't come into play, I think we'll be in good shape. But I think more weight on the late model, especially, is going to come into hand. So I'll just have to manage tires, which I'm not very good at.
Well, that's one of the great things about Mobile International Speedway. You don't have to worry about managing tires. At the end of the race, you'll be within 1/10 of a second of what you started the race at, and really about the only fall-off you got is how tired you are inside the car.
Well, that's good. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that. So I usually don't watch what I eat, but I try to run a couple miles a week and get in the gym a little bit. So I think I should be in good shape there.
This thing is scheduled for 100 green flag laps. Last weekend's was scheduled for 95 green, and I think with cautions ended up being somewhere around 150 odd. You better bring you a chicken snack or something with you if you're gonna go that long.
Don't tell me that, because I have a pizza or something in there.
Seriously, last week's race was almost 2 hours by the time it got through onto that green flag deal, and this weekend's is going to be, for our fans, 100 green flags of racing at Mobile International Speedway this weekend. So that's going to be, you're going to have a lot of racing this weekend, no doubt about it. Will, when you leave Mobile, Nashville, then what else you guys got on your agenda?
Well, CRA is the big series up our way up north here. They run up at Ileana, I think, and I think Dad wants to try to hit ORP a little bit, and maybe I think they run Salem once or twice, and I know we're for sure going to go right down to Nashville at the end of the year. So we'll do that, and we'll just see what happens with some sponsorship deal. But we'll be running a Ford Fusion and have a Joe Ryan motor down there this weekend, and we'll run that throughout the year, and hopefully we can come out and go to Nashville twice and hit Salem and do some northern races, and you might even see me with a crate motor. Just don't know what's going to happen yet.
Speaking of Joe Ryan, engine builder for your Uncle Frank and the ARCA Remax series forever and ever and ever, I figure the only reason that y'all were still able to get him to build your motors is that somebody had some pictures on him or something somewhere. So obviously y'all still got those pictures?
Oh, yeah. We call him Shrek, because he's big brother Shrek. And I don't know if people know, but he doesn't use engine hoist. He just puts motors in his car and fixes them up with the limit.
I've never heard that term about him, Shrek. I do like that.
He'll kill me if he finds out I called him that. But
I may have to have him on the show here in a few weeks and just ask him if there's any truth to that.
There is. There's a lot of it.
We're talking with Will Kimmel. He'll be coming down this weekend to run the ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour Bayou Classic 100 here in Mobile. If you have an opportunity, you go to his website, willkimmel.com, Kimmel, where you can check out all the latest news on Will. Nice video. I see, though, I was watching your video earlier today on your website. We got to work on your video stuff. You definitely went to your dad's school of video presentation.
I'm sure.
I mean, your dad was the worst. I mean, all those years we did ARCA TV. Hey, Bill, how's everything going? Good. Okay. Anything you tell us about your car? Good. Okay. Thanks, Bill. Come back and see you later.